right. It's Lambo Sports featuring Solid Sports Network featuring Big Brother. Big Ten matchup for Saturday. Michigan versus Nebraska. First year head coach Matt Rhule. Jim Harbaugh coming back from a 3-game suspension last week. They did their dominance against Rutgers. Um, Nebraska has promise on the defensive side of the ball, but the quarterback is the issue, and I think they might have changed quarterbacks. All right, they did have a former Georgia Tech transfer from last year as a starting quarterback, but it looks like they have Heinrich Harburg as the starter, and he has 4 touchdowns and no picks. By the way, Nebraska is 2-2, so that's better than what Scott Frost did for the past 6 seasons. Now, I understand for Matt Rhule in Nebraska, this is going to be at least a 3-year rebuild. I don't know about 6 years because you know how impatient college football is as far as coaches. It's what have you done for me lately? So I don't think this will be a 6-year rebuild. It's going to be at least 3 years. I'd give it maybe 2.5 if they get some recruits. I'll give it 3 because, you know, it's going to be hard to recruit in Nebraska, and they just fell off since, like, I don't know, 2010. They're not the same team. Michigan is the team that I've said months ago that Michigan has a chance to compete for a national championship if they don't lose in the first round of the college football playoff. They have J.J. McCarthy. They have Blake Corum. They have great, excellent receivers around them as well. A great defense. Michigan has shown promise. I understand earlier in Jim Harbaugh tenure that, you know, his job was maybe somewhat on the line because Michigan was 8 wins. But the last 4 seasons, Michigan has won 12-plus games. So, you know, they dominate the line of scrimmage. And like I said, I'm confident that they can beat Ohio State again for the 3rd year in a row. I think my only concern in the schedule going forward maybe Penn State. But they beat Penn State last year as well. So I'm going to take Michigan in this game. I think Nebraska plays very great defense, but until you fix the quarterback situation, which they have, or we have to see how he plays for the rest of the year going forward and get the run game going. I'm not confident in on offensive side of the ball, but they play great defense. You saw that against Colorado. They played great defense. But you can't turn the ball over on offense. But Michigan is just a way better team. Michigan wins 41-14.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think this one's going to be close at all. Now, Michigan hasn't played anybody yet, anybody that could be expected to maybe upset them. And JJ's looked great in those games, minus the Bowling Green game. He threw 3 interceptions somehow, but those are his only 3 picks of the year. And he's throwing the ball at a 8-3 touchdown to interception ratio. He's throwing it at 80%, it's 79.8%. So 80% through the air. So, you know, JJ looks great. And I just don't see anything that's going to overcome the lopsidedness and talent in this one. And it's like you said, they played a good first half of defense. Nebraska did against Colorado, but at the end of the day, they can't keep up with a team. If they couldn't keep up with Colorado, and I do know that I'm with you that Colorado is a very talented team, but if Colorado played Michigan right now, Colorado would stomp on them. So for this game, I don't think it's going to be close at all. Michigan is just way better in every facet of the game, all 3 phases. Michigan has the advantage. So unless JJ goes out and plays like he did 2 weeks ago and barely throws the ball 50% and throws 3 interceptions, which we have seen against a lesser opponent. So, you know, as long as he stays away from that, I don't see this one being close at all.
I wish there were more things to talk about, but this probably be the shortest episode that we ever did because, I mean, Nebraska, they're, like I said, the rebuild's going to take a while for them to do. And Michigan, we've seen it. We've seen it off of Michigan. They have the it factor. They have it all. Nebraska is just going to be a while. Like I said, they only have a 12% chance of winning. Michigan has 88. So, I mean, it's hard to really talk about it. I thought this would be a game to talk about, but if you're a Nebraska fan, I hope not. Cornhusker. You're not allowed to have corn. When Deion Sanders played Nebraska, you couldn't eat corn. There was tradition going on. So if you're a Nebraska fan, you might want to just root for Michigan so you can save your money on your parlays. But the next thing will be something to talk about. The next game will be something to talk about. Big 12 matchup, Kansas versus Texas. Yes, I understand that Texas is undefeated and Kansas is undefeated as well. But Texas is not back. We don't want to hear that. Texas is not back. Remember, in Steve Sarkisian's first year as the head coach, they lost to Kansas 57-56 in overtime in 2021. So I'm just letting you know, Texas is good. Texas is great. But like MattPatt said, is Quinn Ewers going to play good against Kansas, or is he going to play big against, the competition? Now, Kansas is better than what they were before. I'm not going to put them as a mid-team, but how great is Quinn Ewers going to be? So we will talk about that in the next episode of Lambo Sports. We will catch you later for Kansas versus Texas.